Laura, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience for those that might not have heard the full podcast that we did, but we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on at RLC, but I'd love for our listeners to hear who is Laura Wilber.
Thank you so much for asking, Jeremy. So my name is Laura. I believe that showing up is 80% of success. And when we show up consistently at places like this, we are unstoppable. And I'm in the business of showing up for my restaurant clients and bringing friends. And by friends, 21 million expense account diners who are traveling for business, looking for great restaurants for dine-in, carry-out, catering, and in some cases, private events and even buyouts.
You are so articulate, and one of the things I love about talking to you is just how articulate you are about what Dinova does. So I guess I buried the lead there. Tell me, who do you work for, and how does that even manifest itself in today's day and age?
Okay, thank you. So I work for Dinova Corporate Dining, and we are contracted by global companies and government agencies to find great restaurants for their teams traveling for business. The company started 16 years ago. And it started because one company said, hey, if we shifted our spending to this one restaurant, would they give us some consideration for that? Would they give us some sort of kickback or loyalty rebate? The answer was yes. And over the past 16 years, we've been working to grow that network. We're now hired by 560 global companies.
Incredible.
Plus the U.S. Department of Defense. And we have about 25,000 restaurants benefiting from incremental sales because these companies are shifting their spending to their partners.
Love that. So I guess first and foremost, I should say thank you. We're in RLC while we're recording this. You guys probably hear some background noise, but you guys ended up sponsoring the Influencer Alley. So thank you for that opportunity, because I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your organization making sure that we could come out and record some of this content. So I appreciate that piece.
You're very welcome. And thank you for having me chat with you. It's always such a pleasure, Jeremy.
It's awesome. So we've been talking a lot, or we've been hearing a lot this week at RLC just about traffic, and traffic being a struggle for people. Traffic is trending down. Consumer confidence is trending down. I guess as a restaurant owner and operator, what value can Dinova bring to somebody like that might be seeing the horizon that says, hey, I'm going to need to make sure that I'm getting acquisition?
Okay. It's really honestly a good time to really consider, do you have a business dining strategy? A lot of operators have benefited from taking price, but traffic has remained relatively flat. And now that it's almost down by almost 5% as of the Technomic talk that we saw yesterday morning or yesterday afternoon, it's really a great time to invite these business travelers and diners into the restaurant. And thankfully, there's a turnkey solution that's Dinova that helps them do that. The nice thing, too, is that if consumers are pulling back on how frequently they're dining out, there's still the restaurants I talk to every day, still the majority of them say that weekends, they're still doing great.
Yep.
And they don't want to cannibalize any of that weekend inventory, but the business traveler naturally wants to be home for dinner by Friday night with their family if they can. So they're dining out primarily early and midweek. And then the other cool thing is that when somebody's paying with a company-issued credit card, they spend 50 to 200% more than a guest paying with their own money. So they're just not as price sensitive.
And you and I talked when we did the full podcast about just being in that selection criteria when you're choosing to go out for a business meal. I get the privilege of taking clients and vendors out, or choosing the restaurants oftentimes when we're going out. And if there was an incentive for me and the restaurant was part of my selection criteria, it changes the game. Even quite frankly, from a discovery perspective, especially when we're traveling. We happen to be in Phoenix right now. I know a half a dozen restaurants around here, but if there was something on my list, I would certainly be more apt to select that. Is that kind of what you're saying from the business travelers?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So last night we were at Ocean Prime.
Oh, poor baby.
I know. And it's Cameron Mitchell Restaurants. They've been a great partner for a long time at Dinova. And so that's when we're looking for where to entertain our clients. We co-hosted an event for restaurant operators. And then tonight we're also having dinner there again because we love it. It's also 5 minutes from this venue. They do an incredible job, but it does help you narrow your focus. The companies, when people are given a company card, they're trained on, hey, here's our partner airline, partner rental car, partner hotel. and dine at one of these 25,000 restaurants as a good steward of company resources. But also you, the corporate cardholder, are going to receive perks, my Dinova reward points, when you choose a partner restaurant. So there's an incentive for the company as far as expense management, but also for the individual traveler.
And is that also relevant for restaurant operators that are traveling, where they might not have? Do you guys have any restaurant clients that you guys have on the program? I just want, I mean, this is literally a question that came up in my head. It's like, hey, if I'm working for a national brand and I need to go out to eat, is that something that also would make sense to do? Because there's restaurant operators that are going to be listening to this that, one, want to be on the platform to have people dine there. But the flip side is also true, I'm assuming, but I don't know. I'd love to understand.
Yeah, so there is an option for smaller business owners, and that's MasterCard Easy Savings. They're a partner. So if you want to earn rewards on dining, I would encourage that. MasterCard Easy Savings, the enterprise clients that we have to be an official company that hires Dinova to run your network, you have to have an official company card policy and spend, I'm not positive what the threshold is now, but I think it's around $5 million annually on spending at restaurants in order for us to say
for it to be a relevant thing. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. And so if I'm a restaurant operator, how do I get involved in this program? How do I get part of that selection criteria? Because Ocean Prime is a different kind of restaurant than some of the other ones. And I was a little bit misled as I related to what you guys do. And I think it's not just the highest of the high end type of experiences. Tell our listeners a little bit more about that.
Thank you. I will. So right now we're waiting for one of our partners at Jollibee Foods, Heaven, to be interviewed for another podcast. And their leadership team is here at the Restaurant Leadership Conference. That is an example of a quick serve restaurant that
fried chicken and spaghetti.
Exactly. That's an example of a restaurant that is obviously QSR, quick serve. I remember when I first brought them on, there were some people that were saying, that's not business dining, but absolutely it is. Because when we're traveling for business, we need morning coffee, quick drive-through if that's all we have time for, last call at the bar, Michelin-starred restaurant, entertainment. That's something else that we're getting a lot of requests for is people who want an experience. So we've been having requests for golf type experience, like mini golf, and hopefully we'll be adding that as an option soon. But as far as you asked the question about if a restaurant operator listening wants to get involved with Dinova or find out more, it's as easy as reaching out to me. Hopefully, I'm on LinkedIn.
Very active on LinkedIn. Posted a fantastic article yesterday about the Technomic thing. So
thank you. And you're probably sick of hearing about me or from me on LinkedIn, but it really is a great way to reach me. And it's just Laura Wilber. I think I'm the first one that pops up. Wilber with an ER. So that's a great way to reach me. But
awesome. Yeah. Thanks for sponsoring the Influencer Alley. Don't let anybody on my team call me an influencer because I'll get grounded at it. But very much appreciate your support for the restaurant industry. As you and I have talked about offline, it's just amazing how much you guys want to see restaurants succeed. So I love that you guys continue to do that. And I would encourage all of our listeners out there to check these guys out, because even if you're a QSR, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a Michelin-starred restaurant in order to be part of the program, because everybody needs to eat. And depending upon what that corporate occasion is, it's going to be a different experience. It's going to be a dined-in, it might be a catering order, those kind of things. So lots and lots of different opportunities to partner with you guys. So thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.